Wonderful. Okay, it's recording. Fabulous.
Perfect.
So, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself first?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you guys for clicking this video and for opening up, and welcome back to both of our channels. My name is Natasha, and I am a success and greatness coach. And basically, how I got here is throughout my life, I was a competitive athlete in softball and boxing. And I had so many amazing successes, like being on the junior Canadian team for softball and being able to compete for Ontario for boxing. But even with all these successes, I fell from where I was because of a lack of confidence and a lack of um, security in who I was.
Mm,
So that fall led to quantum physics, led to researching how the universe works and how I can guarantee success. And through that process for me, I was able to pick up some really powerful tools along the way. And now I help other people that want to be just extremely successful with whatever they're doing and create that elite level success within their lives now.
wow, I love that. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to say welcome. So, welcome back to both of our channels, everyone. I'm so happy to be doing this collaboration with you. It just feels so exciting and it felt so aligned when we were chatting at first. Yeah, my name is Sophie Mizrak and I'm a manifestation coach. And I've actually only started YouTube recently. And the reason being is that I've been doing this like for the past like 5 years of my life anyway. And I just finally decided to start doing it professionally. And it was like barely a decision. It just kind of was like coming out of me. Like I couldn't hold it in anymore. And I used to hear people talk about that and be like, wow, like I wish that would just happen for me. And then it's like it happens in divine timing when you can no longer
Yeah.
hold it in. But I first got back like into all of this stuff back when I was a teenager. I was having like a really traumatic time and a really traumatic breakup from a toxic relationship. And I remember I was like crying in my room and like nobody could talk to me. And my mom just like knocked on the door and then just like threw this book into the room because she was just like desperate to help me. And it was The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Oh yes.
You read that?
Yes.
Yeah, and from then, like my mind was just blown by that book because it was beyond anything I'd ever heard before, and it like
Mm-hmm.
I felt a shift in my consciousness as I was reading it, and then from then on, I discovered like The Secret, Abraham Hicks, Neville Goddard, and it just kind of snowballed from there, and
Mm-hmm.
my life just started getting like happier and happier, and I started to see the results of like putting the practices into place, and then like it actually like appearing in my life. And then I've been living this like manifestation lifestyle for the past like over 5 years. And then, yeah, now it's just like I have all this life skill and knowledge that I just need to share with other people, you know?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I love that so much.
Mm, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess just to introduce the topic that we're going to be talking about today, which
Mm,
I think is an amazing topic. And I feel like so many people are constantly wondering this. And I know I get asked this question quite a bit. I don't know about you too, but the whole idea about how do you be happy right now when you're still waiting for those desires to come in? How do you be at peace? How do you enjoy your life? How do you have fun? How do you be happy even though your desires haven't happened yet? So I'm really excited to bring this amazing topic and amazing conversation to all of you between, I guess, me and Sophie today.
yeah.
So I guess we each brought three questions to the plate.
Mm.
And so neither of us has shown the other person the question. So this is it's gonna be really kind of fun, I feel like. So do you want to go first, or do you want me to ask the first question?
You can go ahead and go first, I think. I think that's better.
Okay, perfect. So the first question is, how do you not stress about what's currently happening in your life when you're trying to manifest, I guess, your dreams and your desires? So if you're not where you want to be, let's say you have like $10 in your bank account right now, or your desires don't match what you're currently seeing in your life. How do you not stress about what's happening right now?
It's so hard because like I have like 10 different things like flying into my mind. Like I have so many different practices, and like that's why I'm always recommending for everyone to play with different practices all the time so they know that which ones really work for them. But the first thing that I always say is that you have to address how you're feeling right now before you can go ahead and start using the manifestation techniques, because then you're just like, you can't just like sprinkle sugar on top of everything. You have to address it first. And it's like a paradox, isn't it? Because like you can't get to happiness. Like in order to get to happiness, you have to address those heavy, lower, like deeper, darker feelings first. So that's what I always like start with my coaching clients is like, when you think about the topic, right? So say if we're talking about money, like I want this much and I don't have that much yet. How do you feel when you think about it? Or do you feel excited about the idea of it? Or do you feel worry and stress that it's not here yet? And if the answer is worry and stress that it's not here yet, then I do like my processing technique, which is like you ask yourself, where do I feel that feeling in my body? So say it's like anxiety or heaviness or fear, like name it. Ask yourself, where do I feel it in my body? And then say it's in your belly. You're literally just going to sit with that feeling and breathe into it, like fully experience it, like see what it's telling you. Like your body is only kind of giving you these reactions to try and get your attention, but we're just like pushing it away and trying to feel happy because we don't want to feel those darker feelings. But if you just sit with it and breathe into it, it starts to float away. Like it's incredible. Like you can spend a week avoiding a feeling, but if you just sit down with it, it can be gone in a few seconds. So I would say that. But then once, if you're already in like a good place about it, where you think like, okay, I know it's coming, that's what I've been doing for the past week, is like you've spoken about this before, is practicing the trusting and the faith. Like it's coming, things have came to me before. Like I've had stuff I wanted and I was worried about them, and now I have them. Like prove it to yourself, it's totally possible,
Yeah. And, I think the whole idea about proving it to yourself is so powerful too. And I think a lot of people don't recognize how powerful just a simple practice of manifesting smaller things can be. Because once you start to prove that to yourself that, hey, if I do focus on something for a little bit of time and I put it out there, this is what I want, and it comes to you like randomly out of the blue, then you're going to believe in it more. You're going to be intrigued by it. You're going to be pulled in. I love that you brought that up, because I don't think enough people are practicing it. And the more you can practice it, the more confident you are in your ability to do that. So yeah, I definitely agree with that too.
Yeah, brilliant. So do you want me to go for my question next?
Yes, I guess we can interchange.
Yeah, okay, cool. So I'm curious about you. What has been your biggest manifestation success so far? And how did you get there?
Oh, okay. So interesting. My biggest manifestation success. I've had quite a few big ones. I think the biggest has been just the relationship that I'm in. And I feel like the reason I'm saying that is because just growing up, there was, I mean, bullying, and there was a lot of things that kind of happened that caused me to not feel wanted and not feel good enough. And having to work through all of those feelings and all of those limiting beliefs, and work through letting all of those things go. And I think that process of letting everything go and stepping into the feeling of what it feels like to be in not only a relationship, but an amazing relationship. And I think that's probably the biggest and the best manifestation that I have created thus far. Just because, I mean, it didn't happen overnight. There was definitely ups and downs. There was more work that has to be done. There's still work that has to be done with me, because it's like this process and this, I guess, like never ending kind of growth. But I think the biggest thing that has helped me to be able to manifest that is, like I said, just so first identifying what those limiting beliefs are, what those habitual states of beings are, what the feeling is that I'm dominantly kind of putting out there, and beginning to kind of let myself let go of those things, and getting to a place of neutrality, and getting to a place of feeling safe, and noticing the love that's around me already, noticing how there's already love in my life, noticing the things that were happening with my family that were showing me that they love me, things that were happening within my friends, just everything, just constantly looking at the love that's already happening in my life allowed me to trust in it more and to relax into that feeling more. And the more that I do that, and the more that I did that, the more just everything kind of unfolded, and everything just beautifully kind of fell into place.
Wow, I love that. Yeah, and it's another like sign there, like what you said, what you focus on grows. So, you know, like for you to be focusing on the love that's already in your life, it's expanding love in like all areas of your life then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love it.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for the question. And I guess to tie that into the whole idea of like, how do I be happy right now, regardless if it's a relationship, or if you're trying to manifest like success in something or more money, looking around at everything that's going your way and everything that is working out, and seeing all of the things that you are doing right, and everything that you have already achieved, and everything that is already beautifully lined up in your life. I just feel like a lot of people, and I mean myself included, I used to do this as well, where we just kind of go through life ignoring those things almost, and not giving them as much attention as we need to.
Yeah.
And it really just causes more of that lack feeling to come upon us, because when we're constantly looking at what needs to be done, or where we aren't right now, then like you said, what you focus on is what comes into your life even more. And the more that you focus on those things, the more that's going to be your reality.
Yeah.
I guess that's to tie everything up.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I always think about as well. Like there could be like you know, 3 things going right in your life and 1 thing going wrong, and you're focusing all your attention on that 1 thing, when you just
Yeah.
focus to the 3 things that are going right, and that will resolve that 1 thing, because it's
Yeah.
shifting energy. It's so funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's
It's
why I
so
love this
true.
work, because it's like we're constantly redirecting ourselves into like what's going right in our life now, and that's like shifting
Hmm.
state.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And I think too, it not only shifts your state of being, but if you keep doing it long enough, it becomes a habit.
yeah,
And when it becomes a habit, then things just unfold so much beautifully for you, and it's so much easier to appreciate life and to see all of the successes in your life and to see how you are so special and all of the things that you need to be able to see to be able to manifest anything that you want. So yeah, definitely.
yeah. I love that you actually brought that up, because that's something I'm always talking about as well. It's like all we're doing with all these manifestation techniques is practicing being in the energy of what we want to receive. And it's these
Yeah.
subtle little shifts and changes in our life that makes for happiness, finding happiness. Tiny little shifts of practicing how will it feel if I have what I want. And it's easy to practice it through the techniques like, you know, affirmations, scripting, meditation,
Mm-hmm.
visualization, all those things. They're just helping us to practice what it feels like. And then you become it, and
Yeah.
then you're attracting it, more of that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Exactly. That's literally the gist, the main point about how to create anything in your life is just become it and it'll happen.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And manifestation,
Okay.
like, you know, like that's the thing, is like manifestation for me equals happiness, because it's reminding me
Mm,
I have the power, you know, and if you
yeah.
have the power, why wouldn't you be able to choose happiness then? Isn't it?
Yeah. It's so true. It really just comes down to a choice.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly.
Okay. Perfect. So my next question, all of my questions are really good, and they're just such great talking points. Um, what would you say is the easiest way to stay in the mindset of whatever it is someone is trying to create, whether it's abundance or success or love, or like what do you feel is the easiest way to get there and to stay there
Mm,
until it does become a physical reality?
yeah. Well, the first thing that popped into my mind, and this always comes up straight away when I'm thinking about any manifestation techniques, is that what you resist persists. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to stay in a state, then that's like trying. And then you're immediately putting pressure on yourself, and that creates resistance. So,
Yeah.
first thing I think of is that if I notice like a wave of sadness coming over me and I'm trying to stay in a state of love, I have to allow that sadness to wash over me and go through me, and I'll naturally bounce back to
Mm-hmm.
love. Whereas if I try to stay in the state of love, you know, then I'm just like actually pushing it away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like embracing whatever comes and honoring those emotions, because they're here to teach us something. All the emotions that
Mm-hmm.
we learn. But once I've
Mm-hmm.
done that, then the way that I stay in these states is through like a selection of different techniques that I use every day, depending on how I'm feeling. But it's like basically, you know, visualization gets me into a state of love. If I'm visualizing something that I want to attract into my life, I'm feeling so excited about it. I'm thinking, what do I love about it? Like, why do I want it? Because I love the feelings that it brings me. So as
Yeah.
soon as I start visualizing, I can just go straight back into that state once I've addressed whatever other emotions have come up. And then same with like scripting really helps me to stay in a state. And then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, affirmations as well is another big one I use every day. I just find like
Mm-hmm.
it that can just jumpstart my state straight away. If I wake up feeling just like, you know, like content, if I start doing affirmations, I can get myself into a state of excitement instantly. And then I can use those on repeat all day in my mind, and it just starts me back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I think it's, I think the whole idea about what you resist persists. I think just to add on to that as well, because I notice when I'm kind of in that lower state too, if I'm trying to, like you said, fix myself when I'm in that lower state, or just try to like figure out how to be happy, then it really just kind of digs yourself into a deeper hole, and then you find yourself even more upset and even more frustrated and even more sad, and it's just kind of this like snowballing effect that happens. And I feel like just letting go of trying in that moment, and just allowing yourself to just be, kind of like what you said, just being where you are, and slowly but surely you do start to kind of get out of that. And especially if you go and kind of, you know, take your mind somewhere else for a bit, like shift your focus off of what's bothering you, and maybe go watch like a funny video on YouTube, or like a comedy on Netflix. You can really shift your state pretty quickly, and as soon as your feeling state starts to get better, then it will be easier and easier to get into the feeling again of whatever you are trying to create.
Yeah, exactly. And then like as we're practicing this, you're actually forming like the new neural pathways in your brain. So once you start practicing it, it becomes easier and easier, like you say, because it's just like it shoots straight through. You're not trying to form the new habit because you've been practicing it little by little, like, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And I think the whole idea about being happy, just like you said, it's just a practice. So if you're trying to kind of be more happy or be more grateful in terms of where you are right now, in order to be able to create any kind of success that you want in life, if you notice that you're not, it's difficult for you to be happy right now, every day committing yourself to just being a little bit more happy and a little bit more grateful, and finding one more thing to be grateful for, one more thing that you're happy about. And the more you can do that every single day, then it just becomes easier and easier, because of what you said, but because of the neurological connections within your brain. And it just, that at that point it becomes more of a habit too, like we were saying too. So definitely 100% agree with you.
Right. And you know, like that's actually just reminded me of scripting, because when you're talking about those little steps and committing to happiness, I remember when I was in a really low vibrational state before I got into all of this stuff, the idea of that seemed out of reach. You know, when people would say, you know, practice it, and I was just like, that is so far away from me. So like what I started recommending to people now that I've kind of discovered the way out of there is like scripting, because if you're writing out your perfect day or your dream day as if it already happened, there's no pressure to do anything. You don't have to like start being happy or make any choices. All you have to do is write it all out. And in that process, your state starts to shift automatically, you know, and you don't even have to try. And then you're actually manifesting anyway as you're doing it, because you're focused on that desired reality. And that's what I did with my YouTube channel. I thought it was like a scary thing to start, and I didn't even want to like talk about it, or like I didn't want to put the pressure by saying I'm gonna do it. So every day I would just script out. I started my YouTube channel and I forgot about it, and then one day I was just compelled to do it because I had practiced it so much in my journal, you know.
Yeah.
Easier, isn't
Oh
it?
my God, I love that. Yeah, no, it's so amazing what happens from just you constantly saying something or writing something down. I was just talking with my boyfriend too, and he was saying he was at a certain weight and he was trying to gain some weight, and he was saying, you know, I just kind of started just saying that I was 3 pounds heavier than I was. And he kept saying that and he kept saying that. And then he stepped on the scale and it just kind of happened that he ended up being that weight. And it's just, the more that you kind of put that out there and the more that you just say it and write it and not really put pressure on yourself to create it, because it's not our job to create it. It's really just our job to set the foundation and to set the what's the word I'm looking for, like the framework for it. Yeah. Yeah, just kind of setting that like skeleton form, and then the universe or the field or source or whatever you want to call it is the thing to come and fill that space up. So it's not our job. I think that's something that has really allowed me to break through so much easier too, because I think before I was putting so much pressure on myself to create the things that I want. But when you are physically trying to create it, you're doing it in the slowest way possible. And by just giving it some space and allowing that greater energy that knows everything and knows how to bring it to you in the fastest way possible, giving it the space to do it, just kind of, it like miracles happen when that happens, and you can actually allow it to do the work. So,
yeah, like the energy that creates worlds, like why not allow that
yeah.
I love it.
Exactly.
Perfect. So I guess I'll jump into my next question. I had like so many questions, so I'm just trying to narrow it down. Like, this is something that's really, really important to me. That's why I wanted to ask you. And like it's one of my biggest routes to happiness, and it's morning routine. So have you got a morning routine, like, and what is it? And do you like incorporate your practices into it?
Yeah, and I definitely agree that the morning routine sets the day for just whatever, like for greatness, and sets the day for happiness and success and everything. What you do first thing in the morning is so important. And I think I'm still kind of like, I have a set routine, but I'm still seeing what works, what can be a little bit better too. But I guess the foundation of my morning routine right now is waking up, jumping right into a meditation first thing in the morning, still in bed, still kind of between sleeping and being awake, jumping into a meditation. And within that meditation, it kind of just depends on how I'm feeling in that moment. If I'm still feeling like there's a little bit of tension, I'll just kind of just focus on relaxing and just focus on things that I'm grateful for, and connecting to that energy more and more, and just kind of starting my day like that. If I wake up and I'm in an amazing mood already, and it's easy for me to kind of jump in to that meditative state, then I'll do some visualization work and really get a little bit deeper. So I think it really just depends on how I'm feeling and how quickly I'm able to connect to my power and my energy, and then not putting pressure on myself to be perfect or to do something. And because like, it really doesn't matter whether you're doing a gratitude meditation or a visualization meditation, because they have the same strengths of power. So I think just knowing what you can do in that moment, knowing what the best thing for you in that moment is, and doing it is kind of the most powerful thing. So I guess like the meditation is really like the biggest thing for me. What about you though? I guess I'm always kind of curious to see what other people are doing for their morning routine.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to say I love what you said because that's just so powerful. You know, it's not, lots of people can say, what's the morning routine? There is no structure. It's like, how are you feeling? First, you have to check in, how are you feeling? And then you can decide what's best for you in that moment, because it's all about alignment. You know, it's not the technique, it's how it makes you feel. So I think
exactly.
I love that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and then mine changes all the time, but at the moment I have a pretty structured morning routine, because it's like it's lighting me up at the moment. And I get up at 4 a.m. to do it. It takes me like about an hour, and I start with the gratitude. Like you said, straight away I just think or feel, what am I grateful for? And then I say 6 affirmations 10 times each out loud.
Nice.
It sounds like a lot, but I really, it makes me happy at the moment. If I ever feel like it's running out of juice, I'll shift it. Yeah. Then I do scripting, like a page of scripting, and then a meditation. Yeah, so that's like the structure.
I love that.
But like you say, it depends how I'm feeling each day, what sort of meditation or what way I'm going to script, or sometimes instead of scripting, if I'm feeling not great, I'll just journal whatever like is going on, you know.
No, I
So
love
powerful,
that.
isn't it?
Yeah. It really is. And I think it's so important to create some type of morning routine that kind of gets you into that state of bliss and feeling your power, and starting to feel grateful. And because it really does, like it completely just changes the whole day for you. And I'd even argue, like, not even the day, but it goes into how you sleep at night too. Because if you're, having a stressful day, then your night ends up just being stressful as well. And you wake up in that same stressful state. So if you can kind of start the day with something that'll lift your feeling and your spirit up, and be able to kind of keep that going throughout the day, then it just keeps the momentum going through the night and then the morning, and it's just this whole cycle.
Wow. Yeah, and when you're saying like it goes on to affect your day, I would go as far as like it changes your life. Like,
oh yeah,
100%.
yeah.
My life when I started like a morning routine, and I even do like a small night routine before sleeping as well. And it's just like, for me, it's like self-love. Like, it's this time for yourself in the morning before anything, just for you, and the self-love ties into like happiness, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I think not only showing yourself the self-love, but like you said, giving yourself time to spend with yourself is so powerful. It's literally you choosing you. And I don't know what's more powerful and more loving than you choosing to be with yourself and giving yourself what you need. So I 100% agree with you.
Love it.
Yeah. So the last question I have, so I guess for people out there that maybe work a lot of hours in a day, or maybe they're a stay-at-home mom and they're constantly taking care of kids. When it comes to creating your dreams, what does it take to actually do that? Do you need to put in hours of work each day? Do you feel like it takes a lot of work, or is there an easier process that can be done for people that have more things to do, more things to take care of?
Wow, yeah, that's a great question. And the first thing that pops up, which we haven't even discussed yet, is belief systems. Like that's such a huge part to play, because you can't out manifest your belief system, So if you believe, like you said, that it's hard to create success or to accomplish your dream, then that's what's going to be reflected back to you. So I've been working a lot lately on uncovering my belief systems, like asking those questions, like how would you feel if you had what you wanted? And then it's like, what belief or thought is holding you back from feeling that now? And whatever answer pops up, you'll see your limiting belief right there in front of you. And then it's just like, is that actually true, you know? And then you can start to expand your consciousness past that. But once you kind of get down to that, like my biggest technique for that, again, is like scripting, because like I started my, like the coaching business and my YouTube channel was like a dream of mine for ages. And then I just thought it was like this big thing, you know, like, and how do I get there? And then as soon as I started scripting about it, it just happened in an instant. I didn't have to change anything. I didn't have to do anything. It literally happened overnight because I just shifted my belief and got into the state with the scripting. So it's like, it can happen. The way that it happens is beyond our imagination. We can't conceive of how it will happen in this state of being. We have to shift our state onto the solution or the version of ourselves who already has it, like through the scripting, becoming it. And then you start to open up to all these other inspiring ideas that were right in front of you that you couldn't even see because you were in that state of, I don't believe it's possible, you know?
No, I definitely, I think that's so powerful, and that's such a great answer. And I guess just to kind of outline for those that are watching, so they can understand just on a deeper level as well in terms of what you were saying and how you answered it and what's actually going on. I guess Sophie's process and what she's saying is to become aware of what's happening first. So actually taking the time to bring about that awareness, because you can't change what you aren't aware of. So bringing that awareness, and that can even just be noticing how you're feeling throughout the day, and then asking yourself why, what belief is this? So the awareness is number one. And then once that awareness is there, she's putting her focus into what she would rather have in terms of her life. So the awareness of it, the awareness is so powerful, because as soon as you're aware, it starts to lessen the strength of it. So once the awareness is there, she can go into the scripting and go into writing about what she wants in her life, and that focus in terms of what she wants then becomes so much more powerful and so much stronger, and then that leads to the manifestation that happens overnight. So I just wanted to kind of lay it out for people too, because I think that's literally like, that's how it happens, that format of awareness and then focusing on what you would rather have.
Yeah, exactly like you said there, but the awareness is that's why meditation is so powerful, because you're able to objectively observe your thoughts. And when you have that awareness, you're shining the light on it, and it no longer has the hold over you, because you are the one that's aware of it. So you're not the thought anymore. You know, you're not sucked in by it. You're not it. You're observing it, and then it's objective, and then you've taken your power back. So I'm glad you brought up that awareness part. That's such a great thing to cultivate through the meditation practice, isn't it?
Definitely. I agree 100%. Once you can detach yourself from the thoughts itself and be the observer, then it's a completely different experience. So I think that answers it quite beautifully, that question.
Perfect. Great. So I'll pick my final question. So like, I had this question, but I just want to ask you first. So do you use manifestation techniques in your daily life, like specific manifestation techniques, or do you have like your own sort of way of doing it in terms of like success?
I put the intention out there, and then like the majority of my work in terms of what I do is more allowing myself to be happy and allowing myself to enjoy my life right now and to be grateful for what I have right now. And I feel like me being able to step into that energy more and more has been able to shift things a lot faster for me. But what I find really like speeds things up is once I'm in that better mood and I'm in a space where I feel safe and calm and relaxed and grateful and happy and blissful, then I love walking around in my day in that energy of whatever I want to create. So if I'm wanting to create this massive coaching business, then I'll kind of just walk around my day in my apartment or outside or wherever I am, in that feeling like I'm walking in that reality and seeing how it would feel and how I would walk if I had $1 million in my bank account. You know, just kind of getting into that mode. And I feel like walking is so powerful for me. And I feel like I might even within my morning routine, kind of coming back to that, I even feel like that meditation in the morning will eventually lead to some type of walking meditation, just because I feel like that walking, it for me is so powerful and gets me into the energy like really easily.
Wow. Yeah, I love that. I haven't really heard of that. I haven't really thought of that, you know, like embodying as you're walking that version of yourself. Yeah.
I've done that with my body.
Right.
And it happens like I've been able to manifest like shifts in my body fairly quickly, just because I'll be walking around as if I already have the body feature that I'm wanting. So I'll walk around and just kind of bring my focus to that body feature and just kind of feel the energy of how it would feel if it was the way that I wanted it to be. And like you can really tap into it and you just walk and you feel it kind of walking with you. And it's just this magical experience, and it just shifts start to happen literally within like a week or two. So just walking in the energy is so powerful.
Wow, because I was kind of asking you that as a prerequisite, and my question was, what is your favorite, most powerful manifestation technique? And I feel like you just like came out with like Natasha's walking manifestation technique. You know, I've never heard that before. That's so new to me, and I absolutely love it. I love it because changes in my body is such like a big request in terms of manifestation. That's like one of the number one things that people want. So it's such a cool like way to do that, because you're like feeling and becoming, and you're using so many aspects like in one moment, and it sounds like fun. Like it sounds like so much fun as well.
Yeah.
Oh
it's
God.
so fun. It's honestly, it's so amazing. And, you know, I never even thought about it like that, how that's kind of like my manifestation technique or tool. And I think that kind of really opened my eyes to, I guess, what I do best too. So thank you for the question. I think that was an amazing opportunity for me to really uncover more about myself. But yeah, like definitely try it out. It's amazing just to kind of walk in that energy as if it's already there, and just like it really doesn't matter what it is. If you are trying to change your body, if you're trying to manifest a relationship, you can be walking and be walking as if you were walking with your partner beside you. So like there's just it's so fun, like you said, and you can use your imagination and you can embody it more and more. So yeah, definitely try it out and let me know when you do and how you feel.
I'm literally going to go out for a walk after this. I love that, because I could feel it as you were saying it, and the way you described like the energy of it, like tuning into that energy. So you're literally tuning into that reality or that version. So it's really powerful, and you can feel it as you're walking. I know exactly what you're saying. You can feel like the structure of your body.
Yeah.
So easy to do that. And I actually, when you said about like manifesting a relationship, like my biggest manifestation is my husband, my soulmate. I manifested, and I used to do what you said. I used to, when I was going to sleep, I just felt like my soulmate, my husband, was beside me, and it became so
Yeah.
real that I remember waking up one day and being like, oh my god, like I forgot that it wasn't real. I was like, oh yeah, it's not here yet. Like, oh my god, and it just freaked me out. But it was so tangible, and I
Yeah.
manifested him in like a week or two. Like you said as well, he just like appeared in my life.
Yeah.
So I'd
Mm-hmm.
say that's like a really powerful technique. The fact we're both,
Definitely.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's something I used to do too. When I would be laying in bed, I would just kind of be like turned over, hugging my pillow and just pretending like I was hugging him.
It so works. And I used to
Yeah.
be like embarrassed about it, but then when I started coaching, I was sharing it with my clients, and they were loving the idea and were having success
Yeah.
with it as well. I was like, wow, like it totally works. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think that if you can have fun pretending like you are in that reality, it's literally will just change your life because it happens so much faster, especially if you're having fun doing it. And the more you kind of get into it and get used to that feeling and get lost in the feeling like you were, and to the point where you don't even know what reality is anymore, and that's how things can start to happen so much quicker for you. So yeah, I think the act of pretending to be there is like the fastest way to get from where you are now to where you want to be.
Yeah, and you have to be willing to let go of that old version of yourself, because like some of my clients were saying, like, it feels like a little bit, fake to do that. And I was kind of saying, like, you don't need to be attached to this version of you. It's not who you are. It's just a conditioned version that you can let go. And as soon as you let go, you shift into the higher version of yourself,
Yeah,
just let
definitely.
go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think like you mentioned something so powerful too, the whole idea about letting go of who you are and even just questioning your identity. I think that's something that everybody should do because we are conditioned growing up to hold some type of identity based off of what we perceive, how other people um, act towards us, how other people treat us. Um, and I think like we take on an identity because of that, and then we surround ourselves with, I guess, this comfort zone around the identity. But if we can start to question it and question what is real and who are we really, and are we going to limit ourselves to the identity that we have attached ourselves to, then limitation will kind of just keep following. But if we can let go of it, like you said, and attach ourselves to the identity of being limitless and being powerful, and start to condition and program ourselves to that identity instead, then it just opens up like a world of possibilities for us.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You don't need to be loyal to that old version. That's so
Yeah.
cool as well when you're traveling. Like I moved to New Zealand, it's great to be able to, because the people around you aren't expecting that old version of you.
Yes. Yeah.
So it can be cool when you when you're able to like let go of like old friendships or like old surroundings, and just like step into that new version of you that's attracting people that are in the same kind of alignment and mindset that you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you were
Okay.
mentioning as well about the number one tip for creating happiness, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So would you like to share yours?
Okay. So the number one tip for creating happiness in your life right now, I would say, and we've touched on it already in this video, but I'll just bring it up again, is just to start to focus on the things that bring you happiness right now. I feel like if you can focus on the things in your life that bring you happiness more and more every day, like I said earlier in the video, you will just start to program yourself to happiness more and more. And that programming will start to take over your life, and then all you'll know is happiness. But what about you? What's your number one tip?
I absolutely love what you said. I was just like absorbing that. And I feel like mine is actually quite related. I feel like we're going down the same path with this, because mine is like, follow your highest excitement to the best of your ability, you know, at all times. So like when it comes down to choosing which flavor you want of ice cream, for example, which one makes you feel more excited, or like an example is like, I was ordering a juice the other day and one had ginger, and I really needed ginger in my body. I kept saying, like, logically, you know, I really need to get ginger into me, but the other one looked so much more appealing. And then I said, okay, which one's more exciting? So I picked that one, and I went into this state of bliss drinking that drink. I was just like, you know, I was getting like goosebumps. I was so high vibrational just through this like juice. And I just thought, wow, you know, like, follow your highest excitement, even for the small mundane tasks, because practicing, trusting your intuition, trusting your instinct, and that wherever you follow your highest excitement, it's always going to lead to your highest joy, because you're choosing excitement before, you know, duty or logic. You know, it's just you're allowing yourself to have what you want, which makes you excited. And that can be anything. Like, you know, when lockdown first hit, I was really wanting to do yoga. And I remember sitting there and I said, oh, I really don't want to do it. Like, you know, I was tired, and I was like, okay, what's my highest excitement? And it was to sit on the couch and watch RuPaul's Drag Race and eat ice cream, right? So logically, that doesn't seem like it will lead me to the best version of myself. But I did it. And after 5 minutes, I was sick of the ice cream. I was bored of the TV show, and I just started doing yoga, and I didn't even think about it. And I was like,
I love that.
You know, like, the excitement led me there. Just give yourself whatever you want, and it will lead you to your highest good, rather than like depriving yourself to try and get.
Yeah, exactly. And don't feel guilty about it too. You know, because I think, especially with food, it's with ice cream, with cake. Because I just before this call, I had 2 slices of cake too. So I'm definitely not for depriving of anything, pretty much. Like, if you want something, give yourself what you want, because you want it for a reason, but don't feel guilty about it. The guilt about eating the cake, if I had guilt, is the thing that would really hurt me in my body. If I'm guilty about the cake, it'll kind of make the cake kind of stick to my hips and make me gain weight. Whereas if I'm just eating the cake for the excitement and the joy of it, then it just leads to more and more of that as well. So I just wanted to add that in. But I love your answer too.
Totally. Yeah, that's a huge part of it as well. I totally agree with all that stuff that you just said. That's just like, that idea is monumental for me, because I used to have guilt with food all the time. And then I totally agree. If you're excited, it's going to light you up. Your body's going to react to it with whatever way you instruct it to, you know? Make me feel amazing and just enjoy it. And it will lead you somewhere great then. So
exactly. Oh my God. This was so amazing. Such a powerful talk. So many powerful points were brought up. And I think that a lot of people are going to find this extremely helpful. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this talk with me too. I think this it was just amazing. I'm really grateful for this moment.
Thank you so much. Like, honestly, I feel so lit up right now, and it's so wonderful to hear things from your perspective. And I feel like I definitely had like light bulb moments, and I have something to go off and practice now as well, you know? So, I absolutely love talking with you. And I set my intention before this call as well, that whoever's going to watch the video, that it's going to help them to have light bulb moments, aha moments, and like lead them to their greatest joy, you know?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So I guess we will, lead this video into, the outro and everything. So if you are somebody that is wanting to create massive elite success in your life, then definitely check out my YouTube channel and my website, because that's all that I focus on. I'm going to be focusing on that more and more, just helping people that just want to be the best of the best and known for what they do. And so what do you specialize in?
Yeah, so like my thing is always manifestation, and like manifesting happiness is the biggest thing for me, because like why do you want anything to feel happy, right? So yeah, manifesting anything, and I like my focus is to manifest things in the most fun and easy way. Like I want to get there in a fun way. I want it to be easy and not hard. So yeah, I guess this video is going to be on both of our channels. So I'll link your channel down below so our viewers can find both of us and our Instagrams and everything like that. And if anyone wants to book a session with me, I have a link in my channel box down below as well.
Perfect. And I'll do the same too. So I'll link both of our information down below as well, have all of our links, everything. So if you want to reach out to Sophie as well and check out her channel, because it's pretty amazing as well, then you can do so just down below.
Yeah, perfect. I was like binge watching your videos the other day. It's like it's funny when you're drawn to someone and you get aligned, because it's always the topics that you are interested in at that time.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So connected, but we were probably putting it out there, our intention of what we wanted anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, perfect. So thank you guys, all of you guys, for watching, and I hope that all of you took at least one piece of information from this video that will be able to help you create happiness and bliss and joy in your life as well. If it did, comment down below the tip that you took away from this, so we can see what you enjoy and potentially even make more videos around that as well. And don't forget to subscribe to both of our channels, and we will both be out with more videos coming soon.
Perfect. Wonderful. Love you all so much.